interwebs. Thank you for stopping by on this little room channel in the community center that is YouTube. My name is Chimso or Ray. This is Chimsology. Let's just take a moment for hair. Let's take a moment for the hair. My hair looks so good. My hair looks so good. It's literally just a simple puff, but I love when my hair is pulled back. Well, I have glasses on, but I love when my hair is pulled back because I think it is in the last video because you can see my eyes better. And I love an updo, and it just looks so full. I love it. I love it. Anyways, my name is Chimso or Ray. This is Chimsology. I literally just come out here to chat shit. I just talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. Topics we've been circling around are Christian theology, science and metaphysics, economics, business, finance, and relationships. Today we'll be touching on the science and metaphysics part. I have been trying to record every day for 30 days. I am about 2.5 weeks in. I haven't recorded every day. I think there's been like 2 or 3 days that I missed. Yesterday being one of them. I didn't get home until like 1:30. I was not recording. I just got home. It's about like 11 o'clock now. I had to be up. I had to be in the office. That's why I'm dressed like this. I had to be in the office by 9:30. And then when I take the metro, so I take the metro from one of my friends' place, so I just went over there and hung out afterwards. So I'm just now getting home, and it's 11. And I was like, oh, I might not record today, but I'm like, I've developed this routine over the past 2.5 weeks of recording every day, so I'm like, I have to record something. Okay, aesthetic is done. Glasses are cute, but my face is cuter. Um, yeah, I've just developed this habit of recording every day, and it feels weird if I don't record something. So I was like, okay, let me just get on here. I had no idea what I was going to talk about until I literally pressed the record button. But I want to talk about a proverb, a saying, a thought that I had. So I have this note on my notes app called Random Beautiful Thoughts. It's literally just one-liners, sometimes multiple, but typically just like one-liners of different thoughts that I've had after like an experience that I've had multiple times and observations and reflections, kind of just like a short synthesis of that experience. Typically, we call those proverbs. I think it's a little audacious to say the things that you are writing are proverbs. So we're just going to keep referencing them as thoughts because that's what they are. And I think this is one of the first ones I actually wrote. I can actually check. Let me see. Okay, it's not the first one that I wrote, but the first one that I wrote is related to it. So this one, the one that I'm talking about is discovery makes me want to live forever. But the first one that I wrote is knowledge astounds me, alluring me into its crevices. I'm trying to find discovery makes me want to live forever. It's a little bit farther down. But so the reason why I started this note is because I was learning. I don't know if learning is the right word, but I was getting a lot of revelations. I hate talking in Christianese, but that's the only way to explain it because it's not something that I would necessarily say. I was coming to the conclusion. I felt like it was being given to me, but I was like having just a lot of revelations about life and all of the wonderful possibilities. I learned so many things, and like having that, like those revelations made me, it like astounded me. Like it said, it just like it made life so much more wondrous and magical and beautiful, and it made me want to live forever. I think especially with science and technology, because it's just so cool seeing like what the possibilities actually are for us. Okay, we're gonna throw in a little economics. Economic principles are applicable to everything. So in economics, there's this concept called the production possibilities frontier, or the PPF, which is basically what are all the things that are actually able to be produced in a society given our current technology and ways of production. not just given our current technology and ways of production, but given the most effective and efficient application and use of those things. So as I'm like learning about all of these different like cool technologies, but not just cool technologies, but science. So one thing that my dad likes to say is the technology that we're seeing now is still us working out Newton's physics. Meanwhile, we now have Einstein's physics and quantum physics, which is just like a whole different world on its own, and like all the theories that are coming out about the possible like technologies that could develop from that, even while we're still trying to understand general relativity and quantum mechanics. It's just like when you genuinely like start to think about these things, like your mind will just explode at like the possibilities, like things that seem impossible. The math is saying that it is possible. We just don't have the technology available to us now to be able to do those things. But with the technology that we do have, we're seeing like it's like, how do I explain it? Okay. So I would say technology, production processes, and then knowledge are three key components. And I think knowledge is the first thing that sets the PPF, because you need knowledge to do anything. And knowledge then leads to the production of technologies. LL. I'm thinking about economic growth theory. I think this is called the endogenous growth model. It's literally my macro class from um the fall. If you can't tell, I love economics. So yeah, knowledge is what leads to the production of new technologies, and then there are production processes set up around the production of those technologies so that they can be efficiently produced and leads to mass production and mass access, and just creates this whole like cycle of change within the society. So we've had like Newtonian physics for a while, and we're still trying to work out that knowledge within our technology and our production processes, and we're still trying to reach the production like frontiers of Newtonian physics. But then it's like when you realize that the knowledge that we have from general relativity and quantum mechanics actually pushes that like further, like again, production possibilities frontier, the possibilities are like unimaginable, like they're actually crazy, like it just like traveling through space, the possibility of there being multiple dimensions, like the multiple world hypothesis for quantum mechanics or multiverse essentially. It's a it's not like definitive. There are different interpretations to try and understand what's happening in quantum mechanics. That just happens to be one of them. But if you just think about like those things, like it's just so cool to think about. So I was learning about all these different things. I was learning about science. I was learning about all these different technologies. Just like seeing cool technologies like virtual reality. Was driving cars. I mean, self-driving cars. One of them, maybe. 3D printing. I have it written down somewhere in my notes. Nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is really cool. Nanotechnology is really cool. Um, brain computer interfaces. I wrote a whole paper on that in undergrad because I was just like obsessed with the brain chip. Like I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. What else? I think those are like the main. There's definitely others, but I think those were the main ones that were like had me starry eyed. And I was like, this is so cool. And the reason why I want to live forever is because I want to see these things actually become normalized in our everyday lives the same way that I'm on here recording on a freaking rock. This is a slab of rock that has been thrown, rock and oil that has been thrown together. And somehow, some way, somebody in the future is going to see what I'm saying right now. That's just crazy. So the way that it's so normal for us to like use our phones, watches, laptops, iPads, and TVs and all these things, I can't wait for it to be normal for people to just be 3D printing stuff, nanotechnology for health. Although it'll like gene editing, CRISPR. That was another one. Designer babies, sure. But I just think like it's so cool. Obviously, it always starts with like, oh, help people that are hurting and diseases and all that stuff. But it's going to turn into like aesthetics and cosmetics because that's just human beings, especially America. But I just think it'll be so cool when we start like seeing these things 3D printing. There are 3D printed houses. Like that's just like really that's just like a really cool thing. And like if they're able to like really get the design like down well, people could even start like 3D printing their clothes. 3D print like I could actually 3D print this now. We actually have a 3D printer in my house. My brother's the primary one using it because he's an architecture student and he be going ham. He be going ham on that 3D printer. Um, but yeah, so it's like it'll even change like things like the economy when people can print their own things. They don't need to rely on the production processes of other people to get the things that they want. Like the implications are crazy. So things like that, but then also thinking about like also obviously like nanotechnology when it comes to sicknesses. Um, because I think the primary way that it's being used now is to like transmit medicine to very specific parts of the body. But I there's also nanotechnology in terms of altering the qualities of molecules themselves. It's crazy. Like like a certain molecule will have a certain strength based on its based on its structure, or like its structure determines like what color it is, and you're able to change it ever so slightly that you can make it like stronger, or you can make it a different color. But right now they're only able to do it at like the nano scale. That's why it's nanotechnology, and they haven't figured out how to like aggregate it up yet. But I believe in human beings. I believe we're gonna get there at some point and figure it out. Thinking about things like that, thinking about like a world where gene editing is just it's just common. And I know there are people who are like doomers and pessimists out there, and it's like it's not gonna be good. But anytime there's potential for great evil, there's also potential for great good. It just exposes what is in like the human heart, and unfortunately we are both very wicked and very wonderful. So I tend to focus more on the optimistic and the positive things because that's just the type of person that I am. And I'm just really excited about like what the world could be, what it will not just could be, but what it will be when like all of these things are developed and deployed and just easily accessible. I'm also very like democratic, like democratize every. I unfortunately, this is very unfortunate actually. Becoming an academic has made me less like democratic in that way in terms of like give everybody access to everything, which is one thing I didn't want to happen, and I hope I can reverse it. I really do hope I can reverse it because I genuinely believe in just give people access to everything. Don't be afraid about what they're going to do with it. Teach them how to handle it well. Make them become the type of people that can handle these things well and can be responsible for it. Deep down in my heart, I still believe that. However, I'm in a mental health recovery phase, so she's not easily accessible to me right now. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what the world will be when AI obviously is another one. AI is a key component for um brain computer BCI, brain computer interfaces, or human computer interfaces, um personal informatics. That's what I wrote my paper on. The quantified self, which is basically just, excuse me, I was going to say digitizing, but having access to all data that you as a human being could possibly produce. Things like where you go, or like the routes that you take, your social interactions, the patterns of your brain, tracking your emotions, and just like all the data that could possibly be like collected from you being centralized in a place and kind of building um, a data double of who you are. Obviously, we have questions about like data rights and things like that, but that's just like one of the things that I'm like really interested in. So yeah, in terms of like democratizing like all of this stuff so that people have access to it, because I believe in the transformative power of technology, of science, and of access, and of knowledge and education. So like I said, give people the technology and teach them how to be the type of people that can handle it well. Don't withhold something from someone because you're afraid that they're not going to handle it well. This is not a universal statement. Do not take don't at me, don't quote me. This is not a universal statement. Um, but I think it's just expressing my sentiment about if we're going to be having these types of technologies, it is imperative that we become the type of people that can actually handle it and that can use it what this whole channel is about, to enjoy our lives more and to also make life better for other people. So we are not playing zero sum games over here. We're not going to be enjoying our lives at the expense of other people. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We will not be doing that. Um, yeah, so that's why I love knowledge. That's why I love science and technology. A cool job for me to have would be like a scientific slash economic futurist. Like imagining what the future could be based on science and how that could transform the economy. Oh, I should write a paper. I probably will one of these days. Um, yeah, really. I'm at the point in the video where I just start repeating myself. But I am really excited about that. And that again, that's just Newtonian physics. So then thinking of what the possibilities could be with like general relativity and quantum mechanics. I mean, they're already using quantum mechanics in things like I think transistors and digital technology, digital like hardware technology. I don't know all the workings behind that. I could probably research it, but I was really into it like the year after graduation, and that is what made me fall in love with discovery because it's like, what are all the things we're gonna learn about existence and reality, and also being a Christian. See, we've touched on three of my four major topics. I did this in almost every video. Being a Christian, I believe that learning more about what is available to us in the universe and what can be done with what's available to us is hacking the mind of God and learning more about God. This is actually one of the first books I wanted to write after the book that I have written. This was one of the first ones that I wanted to write. This whole like exploration into what technology and like science and knowledge is and how we're like hacking God's mind by building things and literally transforming the way that we live and transforming the universe in our tiny is not even the word, but our tiny sect, like all the activity that's happening in this one section of our vast universe is just so, it's crazy and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, and I just want to see what human beings are going to be like in a billion years. We probably won't even look the same, but yeah, that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. Um, so I was watching this video. I'm gonna try and keep this to 20 minutes. I got like a minute and a half left, 2.5 minutes left. I was watching this video on the way home about this guy talking about symbolism, and so this is gonna be my mental health update for the week. I was a little bit sad just because he was talking about symbolism with Steven Universe, one of my favorite shows, and the things he was saying, I recognize them because they are the exact thoughts that I have had before, but they're still not easily accessible to me the way that they were before. And the reason why I say that is because those thought processes developed at the same time that I was having all these revelations about like science and so many other things: science, relationships, leadership, structure, love, identity, um, yeah, all of these things. I was having a lot of revelations about them at the same time. And so, like, listening to things like that, and even coming on here and trying to record videos feels kind of sad and a little discouraging because I can still feel the distance. I'm definitely like, I'm nowhere as far as I was like earlier this year. And I'm so happy about that. I thank God every day for that. But it still always shows me that there's still a ways to go to feel like back completely into myself. And hopefully these videos are helping me a little bit just to remember that those parts of me are in there and that I can access them and bring them back up and they don't have to hide anymore. But yeah, I can't wait until the day where I'm able to access those thoughts and feelings and revelations that I had as quickly as I was able to and articulate them beautifully. I know I probably sound like I'm articulate, but I'm so much better than this. Like, I'm so much better than this. And like at the drop of a hat, I'm so much better than this. So, yeah, but I enjoyed this. I'll probably do more videos like talking about this topic, science and metaphysics, and pushing our possibilities as human beings, because I really I really enjoy thinking about things like that as a philosopher and also as an economist. But yeah, okay, that's the video. Thanks for stopping by.